morning, everyone. I am Anuj and I will be taking the weekly roundup session for today. In weekly roundup, we cover the most important news of the past week. So in today's discussion, we will be covering 5 main news, 6 to 7 quick updates and 1 place in news. So in main news, we will be covering about Economic Nobel Prize of 2025, which was given this Monday. And we will be also covering about 2025 Global 100 Index report, its major finding and what are the major finding regarding India. In third main news, we will be knowing about the status of elephants in India. The report has been released. In fifth main news, we will be talking about the Maitri 2 Research Center, for which the Union Finance Ministry has grant approval for Eastern Antarctica. And in fifth main news, we will be understanding about CBDC, how they are more preferred than stable coins. In quick updates, we will be understanding about Durand Line, Israel-Gaza peace deal, World Economic Outlook, major and minor minerals, RED Plus, Mercosur, Scheme for Innovation and Technology Association with Aadhaar, also known as CETA. Place in news, we will be knowing about Madagascar. Okay. So let's begin our discussion. So what is first news? The first news will be Economic Nobel Prize for 2025. So in this, we will be knowing about to whom this prize has been given, for what prize has been given, and what are its policy implications. Okay, so these three aspects we will be covering in this news, and it is related to GS paper 3, economic developments. So let's start with the discussion. So first of all, to whom this award has been awarded. Okay, so it has been given to Joel Mokaer, Philip Agion and Peter Howitt. Okay, so these three people have been given this award, and for what they have been given? So they have been given for explaining innovation driven economic growth. Okay, so they have explained that in the last 2 centuries, growth is on a right track, or that means growth is continuous. Okay, let's understand it by a graph. Suppose this x-axis represent time and y-axis represent growth. Okay, so they have shown that after 18th century, the growth is continuous. So for this, they have been awarded with the Nobel Economic Prize of 2025. Okay, half of the money has been given to Joel Mokaer and another half is given to Philip Agion and Peter Howitt. Nobel Prize is around 1 crore rupees. Okay, so 50 lakhs is given to Joel Mokaer and the another 50 lakhs is given to Philip Agion and Peter Howitt. So now we will understand what was their research and how it is important for us. Okay, let's understand about the Joel Mokaer contribution. So what he has researched, he has identified the factor necessary for sustained growth. Okay, so he has focused on industrial revolution. Okay, so he has analyzed why industrial revolution was specifically in Britain and why it happened only in 17th and 18th centuries. Okay, so for that he said that there is need for useful knowledge, continuous flow of useful knowledge. And what does useful knowledge consist of? It consists of proportional knowledge and prescriptive knowledge. So he has said that proportional knowledge was there before industrial revolution as well, but prescriptive knowledge, that means how should that knowledge be used, was gained during the industrial revolution. Okay, let us understand it with an example. Okay, suppose you are reading newspaper for your UPSC preparation. So basically you know that you have to read newspaper. Okay, that is why aspect of this. So you know why you have to read newspaper. That is for clearing UPSC, for covering current affairs, for making your answer very specific and different from others. Okay. But the important aspect here is how to read newspaper, because everyone is taking newspaper as a task and not learning what should be learned from the newspaper. Okay. Suppose there was an editorial last week about lower representation of women in judiciary. So this was the editorial. Okay. So in that editorial, the editorial was divided into two aspects. One, what is the issue, and suggestion, what should be done to improve the women representation in judiciary. So in editorial, it was given that out of 32 judges of Supreme Court, only one judge is woman. One woman judge in Supreme Court. Okay. So this can be written in your answers when you are saying that women representation is low. On the other hand, it has also talked that in lower judiciary, it is around 38%. So that is second data. And when the editorial is talking about the solution, it has said that in UPSC, out of top 25, 11 were women. So 11 out of 25 in UPSC examination for civil services were women. So what the editorial suggested? It suggested for a merit-based selection. Okay. And it also talked about issues of collegium. Okay. So one of the issue of collegium was lower representation of women. So the issues of collegium was asked in this year paper as well. So if you know how to read this newspaper or how to read this editorial and you make notes out of it, so then only you can write your answer very specific and relevant. Okay. Otherwise, newspaper reading will be like a task. Okay. That was his first observation. Second, he said whatever knowledge is there, it should be commercial knowledge. That means it should be reproduced by the same method. Okay. The most important aspect he has said that it is that societal openness to change. And in industrial revolution, the England was going through Enlightenment era. So that's why he has said that the reason for industrial revolution at that time in England was because of these factors. Okay. This was the contribution of Joel Macher. Now we will see the contributions of Philip Aghion and Peter Hoggett. Okay. So what they have done? They have formulated a mathematical model to explain creative destruction. Okay. So the mathematical model or the mathematical formula which is provided them is not useful for us until and unless we are reading economy for our economic optional. So they have explained creative destruction. What does creative destruction means? Basically, creative destruction means that creative because it is based on innovation. Destruction because it will leads to destruction of older products. Okay. Let us understand with an example. Around 2002 to 2006, Nokia keypad phone were said to be indestructible. If you throw them also from the 4th or 5th floor, they were said that they won't be destructed. Okay. But then came Apple products. iPhone was launched in 2006 or 2007. What it led to? It led to more phones which was operated on screen. What does it led again? It has led to downfall of Nokia. So here they mean by the meaning of creative destruction is this. Okay. So according to creative destruction, which I have told earlier, the arrival of new and better product in the market causes companies offering older version to lose their competitiveness, which was happened with Nokia. Okay. So that is their explanation regarding creative destruction. Now come the important part, how we will it in examination. Okay. So first is, suppose directly it is asked in UPSC examination, what was the Nobel Prize this year for economics awarded, and what was their significant, what was their research and all. Second, suppose you are supporting your answer like why government need to focus on R&D, okay, for innovation. Why government need to focus on IPR, okay, again innovation. Why government need to focus on skills of citizens, okay, that is that I have already told in, that will come in the how aspect of an knowledge. When why and how will meet, then only the knowledge will become useful according to this year's Nobel Prize winners. Okay. So when you will be writing such points in your answer, you can support your answer with the findings of this year prize. Okay. So this was the first news. Now we will go to the second news. So what is given in the second news? In second news, we will be covering about Global Hunger Index report, which has been released. Okay. And its name is 20 years of tracking progress, time to recommit to zero hunger. So in this, we will be understanding about what is Global Hunger Index, what are its key indicators, what are its major findings, and what is the standing of India. Okay. And it is related to GS paper 2, which talked about issues relating to poverty and hunger. GS paper 3, issues of buffer stock and food security. Okay. So this is the second main news. So first of all, we will understand who have published it. It is published by 3 organizations. One, Irish humanitarian organization concerned worldwide. Second, the German aid agency, Welthung Her Life. And third, the Institution of International Law and Peace and Armed Conflict. So these 3 organizations has published it. Okay. And let us understand what is Global Hunger Index. Okay. So basically, it is a tool for comprehensively measuring and tracking hunger at national level, at global level, as well as regional level. So Global Hunger Index measure and track hunger at 3 levels, which are global, regional, and national. Okay. And based on values of 4 indicators, it published its report. Okay. So what are those 4 indicators? So please look into this infographic. These are the 4 indicators, which is undernourishment, child stunting, child wasting, and child mortality. Okay. And the data is taken from the world organizations like UNO, FAO, WHO. So from these organizations, the data is taken from. So here one point you should remember, that data is not taken from the Posan tracker, which is an Indian tracker which provide data related to Anganwadis and undernourishment, child stunting, child wasting, and child mortality as well. Okay. So data is taken from the international organizations data. Okay. Now it is very important to understand their meaning, especially the meaning of child stunting and child wasting. Okay. Undernourishment is easy. If someone is taking low calories, that will be called as undernourishment, and it is around 33%. Okay. The value for this given is 33.3%. Okay. Then come the child stunting. What does child stunting means? Suppose it means low height to age. That is the meaning of child stunting. Child here is up to age of 5 years. Okay. Suppose a child whose age is 4 years and whose height is not applicable, or whose height is low when compared to the other 4 years old child, then it will be called as child stunting. Okay. Now the second aspect here, child wasting. It is low weight to height, not to the age. Weight, low weight to height. Suppose there is a child and whose height is around 2 feet. So there should be a specific weight. If the weight is below that specific weight, then it will be known as child wasting. Okay. So the difference should be clear, because sometime in UPSC they ask the definition and ask to match the following, or sometimes they are directly ask the definitions. Okay. Then child mortality, if a child does not celebrate or does not reach his 5th birthday, okay, then it will be known as child mortality. Okay. So these are the 5 indicators on which the GHI is based upon. Okay. It is very important for your prelims. Okay. Last, like in 2016, there was a question as well according to these on these indicators. Okay. So we will be seeing that in the last, after the discussion of this news. Okay. GHI severity is divided into 5 hunger scale, which is low, moderate, serious, alarming, and extremely alarming. So 0 is very low and 100 is extremely alarming. So this is the important part here about the GHI. Now we will understand its major findings. What are its key findings? Okay. So first of all, the important finding is that the global hunger has seen little reduction since 2016. So it implies that there is possibility that we won't be able to achieve the SDG of zero hunger. So it is given in the report that there are chances that we will not be able to achieve the zero hunger SDG. Please write down in the comment section which SDG talk about zero hunger. Okay, this is the first major finding. Then India's rank, it is at 102 among 123 countries, and it is assessed with the GHI score of 25.8, and it comes under severe hunger scale. On this hunger scale, it comes on severe. Okay. And what are the factors behind hunger crisis? It has given that conflict is the primary driver, then climate change, environmental shock destroying food system, economic fragility, which includes inflation, and other reasons as well. So these are the basic reasons given in this report. Okay. I hope this has made you somewhat clear about the GHI and findings. Now we will look into the PYQs. So first PYQ is from prelims in 2016. It was asked like which of the following is or are the indicator or indicators used by IFPRI to compute the global hunger index report. So these are the 3 options given. First one is undernourishment, second is child stunting, and child mortality. Okay, so we have discussed this in our discussion. So based on these, write down the answer. The first option is A, 1 only, B, 2 and 3 only, C, 1, 2 and 3, D, 1 and 2. Oh, sorry, 1 and 3 only. Okay, so we have already discussed it. Please write the answer in the comment section. Okay, now we will look into the main PYQ. Okay, the question is, how far do you agree with the view that the focus on lack of availability of food as the main cause of hunger takes the attention away from the ineffective human development policies in India? Okay, so it is interdisciplinary question. So what this question is asking? Okay, suppose this is hunger. So it is saying that somewhat India has focused more on availability of food, and we have not focused more on other human development policies like health and sanitation, okay, women empowerment, employment, and other human development policies. So you can support your answers. Like last year, around the production of food grain in India was around 350 lakhs metric ton, which is more than what will be required by the total population of the country. Even then, there are some people who are not getting food for like food to eat. So there are other reasons which are health and sanitation issue. Government is working through Swachh Bharat mission, women empowerment. Then government is working on women empowerment as well, like through Project Sakti and all. Then employment, because the food should be accessible as well. So you can write your answer balanced in a balanced way. In introduction, you can write about the the global hunger index and India's ranking in it. Then you can write about your answer in the body and you can conclude it. Okay. In last year as well, the question was there regarding malnourishment. Okay. There was a question about obesity and processed food. Last year, our honorable Prime Minister has said about the catastrophe of obesity in India. Okay. So last year it was asked. Okay. So that is the another aspect of hunger where the like amount of nourishment or the calories are not taken in a proper way. Okay. So this was second news. Now we will move to the, in third news, we will be reading about the status of elephant in India. Okay. In this, we will be understanding about elephant, what are its major findings, and what are the issues which are given in this report. Okay. It is related to GS paper 3, conservation and ecology. Okay. So let's deep dive into this topic. Okay. So this is India's first DNA based count of elephant. Okay. How does they count? They have used the scants of elephant. That means their poops, pug marks and other things. Scant mean poops only. So they have used for counting, and it was conducted by Wildlife Institution of India under the aegis of Project Elephant. Okay. There is another project as well, Project Tiger. Okay. Please make a note that Project Tiger and Project Elephant was merged last year. So now the merge project is known as Project Tiger and Elephant. Okay. So these two projects are merged last year. Okay. Okay. So elephant basically is very important for us. Like culturally, if you see Lord Ganesha, or in Buddhism also, we talk about elephant. Even when Alexander attacked India, so for the first time he has seen war elephant. Okay, he has he defeated Porus, but he recognized the value of war elephant. Okay, so that is the importance. And this is the image last in 2020. There was a pineapple given to a pregnant elephant. In the pineapple, there was firecrackers, and that has led to the death of that pregnant elephant. Okay, that we will be discussing about man-animal conflict in the later part of this. Key findings of the report. Okay, so it has said that around 22,446 elephants are there in India. It is around 60% of total Asian elephants that are there in India itself. Okay, there are three types of elephant. One is savanna elephant, which are the largest. Okay, then forest elephant, then the Asian elephant. Okay, these are the three type of elephants, and first two are found in Africa, and this is found in countries like Sri Lanka, Indonesia, India. Okay, so these are the three types of elephants, and savanna elephant is the largest. Okay, it is around 6,000 kgs and its height is up to around 5 to 6 meters. Okay, and I have already told you that India harbor the largest wild population, which is approximately 60%. Okay. Now, what are the reasons where wild elephant is found in India? Basically, there are 4 reasons. Okay. So, the first reason is Western Ghats. Okay. The second region is East Central India. Then Northeast and Brahmaputra plains. Okay. Then the foothills of Himalayas. In these four areas, the elephants are found in wild. Some of the elephants are also found in Andaman and Nicobar. Please remember this. Some elephants are also found in Andaman and Nicobar along with these four regions. Okay. So the four major regions are Western Ghats, East Central India, Northeast and Brahmaputra plains, and foothills of Himalayas. These are the four major regions, and small population of elephants is also found in Andaman and Nicobar Island. Okay. Now coming to the state wise, the Karnataka support the largest elephant population, followed by Assam, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Whenever you read such type of fact, please visualize them on map. Then it will make you to understand in a better way. Okay, and to replicate it well in your answer. So Karnataka is here. Okay, Assam is here, Tamil Nadu. Okay, and Kerala. Okay, so the highest is supported by Karnataka. Second, Assam, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Okay. And what are the threats to elephants? The threats to elephant are habitat shrinkage and fragmentations, human-elephant conflict, which we have talked in the last slide, and the linear infrastructure. Linear infrastructure means roads, railways, pipelines, as well as the power connections. They affect the elephant populations. Okay. You might have read many news where elephant has died on the railway tracks. Okay. So these are the major findings of the report, and this is done first time on based on DNA. So there is no comparable data because as this report is for the first time. Okay. Now we will learn about the Asian elephant. In last 3 to 4 years, we have seen that UPSC has focused more on the characteristics of animals. Whenever they are asking about animals, they are focusing on the characteristics of animals. That means they are focusing more on roaring of cheetah, dancing frog. So they are focusing on characteristics. So whenever you are reading about animals, read about their characteristics and conservation status in a more precise and effective way so that you can write answer in the UPSC. Okay. First major thing about them is that they are the largest land mammal on the Asian continent. Okay. Elephant are led by matriarch. That means a female lead the elephant group. Okay. And they have the longest gestation period, which is around 22 months. Whenever such type of extreme words are there, longest, all, only, then you have to remember those words. Sorry, those statements. Okay. What is their conservation status? They are endangered in IUCN Red List. Okay. Listed in Schedule 1 and 4. Okay. They are listed in Schedule 1 and 4. Suppose an animal is listed in appendix of site, it will automatically listed in Schedule 4 of Wildlife Protection Act. Please remember it. If some animal or some species is there in appendix of site, it will be automatically named in Schedule 4 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Okay. So this was about Asian elephant. Please read about the characteristics of animal, their conservational status and their habitat as well. Okay. Now we will see PYQ related to this news. So in 2020, there was a question with reference to Indian elephant, that means Asian elephant only. Consider the following statement. First, the leader of an elephant group is a female. Okay. The maximum gestation period can be 22 months. An elephant can normally go on calving till the age of 40 years only. Fourth statement, among the state in India, the highest elephant population is in Kerala. So we have already read that it is highest in Karnataka. Okay. And after Karnataka, it was Assam. Then it was Tamil Nadu. Then it was Kerala. Okay. So this statement become wrong. And so these two options become incorrect. Now answer is there in A or C. Okay. So the leader of elephant group is a female. We have discussed in the first major characteristic of Asian elephant. They are led by a matriarch. Okay. So first option is correct. Then they have the longest gestation period in mammal, that is 22 months. Okay. That statement is also correct. So the answer become A, 1 and 2. Whenever you are reading some news, please connect it to PYQs and please connect it with your syllabus. Then only you will read that news in a more effective manner. Okay. Now we will go to the next news. So the next news is related to Maitri. So what is the context? Union Finance Ministry has granted approval to Maitri 2 in Eastern Antarctica, and it is a research station. Okay. So it is related to GS1, silent feature of world physical geography, and GS3, conservation and ecology, okay, of environment. Okay. So let's move to the, so let's discuss this news. This is India's fourth research base expected to be operational by 2029. That means we have already 3 research stations there. One is Dakshin Gangotri. It is not operational now. Okay, it is not operational now. Okay, it was operational from I think 1983 to 1984. Okay, we have Maitri 1. Okay, and we have the third research station which is known as Bharati. Okay, these 3 research stations are there in Antarctica. So whenever we are talking about Antarctica, we should also read about the Arctic as well. Suppose this is the world map. So here it is Antarctica, here it is Arctic. Okay. In Arctic we have Himadri as well as India Arc. Okay. So these 2 research stations are there in Arctic. We have 4 research base, like this will be the 4, and in those 2 are operational. One has been ceased to be operational, and one we are expected to make operational by 2029. Okay, so this is the context, and this research base will be a green research base. That means it will be powered by solar and wind energy. Okay, so this was the context of the news. Now we will understand that why India is investing so much on the Antarctica's research, because we are like, it is very far away from India. Okay, so what are the major reason for setting up research base in Antarctica region? Okay, first of all, let us understand. Suppose this is the map of Antarctica. This is Eastern Antarctica. This is Western Antarctica. Okay, as we have read in the context, this Maitri 2 will be established in the Eastern Antarctica. Okay, so in the western part of Antarctica is melting at a fast pace. Okay, so if this part is melted, okay, the total sea rise of the globe will be around 3 meters. Okay, so that is about the melting of ice in the Antarctica, and the western front of Antarctica is melting at fast pace when compared to the eastern part. Okay, now so it becomes as a natural laboratory to observe climate change, to observe this effect of climate change on continent as well as ocean. Okay, so that is the first major reason. It also have natural resources, as it holds around 75% of Earth's fresh waters, and there are more than 200 species of fishes. Okay, and there is geopolitical significance as well. Many countries before Antarctic Treaty, we will be reading about Antarctic Treaty in next slide, has claimed land on Antarctica. The major countries were Norway, Australia, France, New Zealand, Chile, Argentina and United Kingdom. So they were claiming land on Antarctica. Then Antarctic Treaty came, which temporarily suspended any claim on Antarctica. Okay, so this was about the importance of Antarctica for us. And what are the India's initiative for Antarctica? Okay, first of all, we have already talked about the research initiative, where that is Maitri and Bharti. Okay, there was Dakshin Gangotri as well. Okay, Dakshin Gangotri is not operational anymore. Okay, second, the nodal agency for it is National Center of Polar and Ocean Research, and it is based in Goa, and it is under the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Okay, it is an important fact that it is under Ministry of Earth Sciences. Okay, legal framework, we have Indian Antarctic Act of 2022, where we on the national level we talked about the ecosystem of Antarctica and other things which can be protected there. Then we are also the part of Antarctic Treaty as consultative party. Okay, there is a story behind it. In around 1981, when we were not part of this Antarctic Treaty, we sent our first Antarctica expedition. Okay, we were successful in sending our expedition to Antarctica. Then the Western media said that we have invaded the Antarctica. Okay, it was written in a satirical way. Okay, so they have said that we have invaded it, but we were there for a peaceful research. Actually, then we become the consultative party in Antarctic Treaty. Okay, Antarctic Treaty talk about the peaceful and for the research based usage of Antarctica. Okay, so this was the major discussion in this news. Now we will look into the PYQs. Okay, so the first PYQ is of 2015, the term India arc, sometimes seen in the news, is the name of. Okay, we have already discussed it. Okay, the A, an indigenously developed radar system inducted into Indian defense. B, India's satellite to provide services to the countries of Indian Ocean Rim. C, a scientific establishment set up by India in Antarctic region. Okay, D, India's underwater observatory to scientifically study the Arctic region. So this will be the answer for this. Okay, we have already discussed that India arc and Himadri is there in Arctic region. Okay, now we will look into one mains question, that is, how do the melting of Arctic ice and glacial of Antarctic differently affect the weather patterns and human activities on the earth? Okay, so in this you can divide your answer into three parts, that is introduction, body, conclusion. Okay. In introduction, you can write about the location and about Arctic and Antarctic regions, and you can even draw the map as well, global map, and you can show that here is the Arctic and here is the Antarctica. And in body, you will be writing about the melting of Arctic and glacial of Antarctica and how they will affect the weather pattern and human activities. Okay, when we were discussing about the Antarctica, I have already told you its melting will leads to 3 meters rise of sea level. That means it will affect the human settlement in the coastal region as well as in the island region. Okay, it will impact the global circulation of air as well as the ocean circulation. Okay, so these will be the impacts of it. That is about Antarctica. In Arctic, the reasons or the implication will be more local, and they will be affecting the polar jet winds, and it will leads to a new shipping route, because that total region, okay, this, suppose this is Arctic, if it get melted, then there will be another shipping route here. Okay, so these will be some implication of it. In conclusion, you can write about the global consensus for safeguarding these regions. Okay, so this was the fourth main news. Now we will move to the fifth main news. Let us discuss the fifth main news. In fifth main news, we will discuss about that RBI Governor has suggested other central bank to promote CBDCs over stablecoins. So in this news, we will be understanding about what are CBDCs, that means central bank digital currencies, and why should they be preferred, and what are stable coins. Okay, when talking about their mapping to GS syllabus, they are talked in GS paper 3, which mentioned about monetary policy in economics. So let us discuss this news. So the suggestion has come in the backdrop of many international events, like Bank of England has permitted a certain amount of stable coins only, and even the US has passed a the guiding and stabilizing national innovation for US stable coins. Okay, these developments are not that important. What is important here is that what is central bank digital currency, what is and what are stable coins. Okay, so what is stable central bank digital currency or CBDCs? CBDC is a new form of money that exists only in digital form. Okay, so it is given by central bank. Okay, it is not cryptocurrency. Okay, a stable coin is a cryptocurrency whose value is pegged to another currency such as US dollar. And why it has been pegged? Because with cryptocurrency, the foremost issue was that their value was not stable. Okay, so they used to change overnight. So to overcome that challenge, stable coins are the cryptocurrency which are pegged. Pegged means linked to the other currencies like US dollars, so that there can be the stability. Okay. Now we will look into the, let us discuss about CBDCs in India. CBDC in India is known as digital rupees. Okay, it is issued by RBI. So first of all, the first question which should come in your mind is that why we are going for CBDCs when we have a successful initiative like UPI. Okay, UPI is very successful in India. Okay, even for small amount of payment like 5 rupees to 10 rupees, we often prefer UPI. Then what is the need of CBDCs here? Okay, so what is the basic difference here is, suppose you are making an payment to chai wala. Suppose this is you and this is chai wala, and you are making payment to him or her. Okay, so through UPI you will be transferring money from your bank account to the bank account of chai wala. Okay, so here two banks are involved, but in CBDC only the wallets will be involved. Okay, so the money with, or the digital rupee will be transferred from your wallet to the wallet of chai wala. Okay, and it is, like I have already told you, it is stored in user's digital wallet. Okay, RBI is currently conducting pilot projects on two bases, like one is retail CBDC that is given to the general public, and another one is wholesale CBDCs, okay, that are given for the banks and other licensed financial institutions. Okay, so these are the pilot projects which are going on in India. One is retail CBDC and another one is wholesale CBDC. Okay, so this was the about the CBDCs in India. Now we will understand why CBDCs should be preferred. Okay, first of all, they are backed by the sovereign government. Okay, that means, so there will not be any issues like which are there in cryptocurrencies. Okay, they are backed by sovereign government. Okay, so and consider legal tenders. Okay, they operate within regulatory framework. Okay, so if there is some monetary policy change, it will impact and it will show the result in the CBDCs as well. But whereas cryptocurrency, they operate outside the monetary policy. That means they are not regulated. So there are threat of like inefficient usage or money laundering as well. Okay, it will lead to efficiency in cross-border payment. Now the payment is done through banks and it leads to other issues like is the bank operated there, and the money exchange issues as well. If CBDCs are there, the cross border payment will become more efficient. The other reason for its preference is that it will be better integrated with the monetary policy. I have already explained how it will be better integrated with the monetary policy. It will promote inclusiveness and low cost public payment system. Okay, so this was about the CBDCs. Now we will, so today in place in news we will read about the Madagascar. Okay, why we are reading about Madagascar today? So in Madagascar there are anti-government Gen Z protest. Before Madagascar there was Gen Z protest in Nepal. Okay, so please expect a question where they can ask about why there is rise of Gen Z protest in various countries. You should have answers for that. Okay, in your mains. Okay, in prelims they can ask about where anti-government Gen Z protest has taken place. The first country was Nepal. Now it has taken place in Madagascar. Okay, we will understand about its features. First is, it is fourth largest island in the world. What are the other three largest island? One is Greenland, New Guinea, and Borneo. Okay, so Greenland is in Atlantic Ocean, New Guinea and Borneo are in Pacific Ocean. That means Madagascar is the largest island in Indian Ocean. Okay, such types of fact can be remembered for map based questions. Okay, it has high endemism. That means approximately 90% of Madagascar's flora and fauna is found there only. It is not found on other place. That is because of it has separation from the Africa continent, and it is divided by a Mozambique strait. Okay, it has impact on Indian monsoon as well. Okay, so suppose this is India and this is equator, this is Madagascar. Okay, so in monsoon the equator or intertropical convergence zone comes at the northern part of India. Okay, so when it become an high zone, so wind flows from here, and when they cross equator they turn to the right side due to Coriolis force to reach this low intertropical convergence zone. So that leads to monsoon in India. Okay, so it was about Madagascar. Why it was in news? Gen Z protests are happening, like it has already happened in Nepal. Now they have happened in Madagascar. So also know about why there are so many protests of Gen Zs. Okay, and so now we will look into the quick updates for today. Okay, so the first quick update is Durand line. Okay, why we are reading about Durand line is that there are border clashes erupted between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Okay, even Pakistan is claiming that Afghanistan is fighting a proxy war because they have started war when they have visited India. So these are the false claims made by the Pakistan government. We will understand about the Durand line. It is here, border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Okay, Afghanistan also share border with India. Okay, it share borders with other countries as well. There was a question regarding the bordering countries of Afghanistan in 2022. Afghanistan was in news in 2021 because of withdrawal of USA. So the question about bordering countries was there in 2022. Okay, now there is a lot of issue about the Bagram air base as well. Okay, please read about these issues because map based questions are coming in exam. Okay, so this was established by 1893 agreement between Sir Henry Mortimer Durand, the Foreign Secretary of British India, and Amir Abdur Rahman Khan, the Amir of Afghanistan. So this was about Durand line. Now we will see the next quick update, which is Israel-Gaza peace deal. Okay, and according to this deal, there has been release of 42 hostages and withdrawal of Israeli force from Gaza city to yellow line. Okay, this is very important. Okay, this is yellow line, which is a temporary border between Gaza and Israel. Okay, there is one blue line as well. Please read about blue line and write in the comment section like which blue line acts as border of two countries. So please write in the comment section what are the bordering countries around blue line. Okay, it is an important fact. Such type of facts are very important. So here it is yellow line. There is also a blue line there. One country is Israel, and please write about the other country in the comment section. Okay. Now we will discuss about this peace deal. Okay. It is based on US President 20 points plan, to which he was claiming he should be awarded with the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay. And it include ceasefire, Israeli withdrawal to agreed lines and release of all hostages. Okay. And who has mediated it? It was mediated by USA, Egypt, Qatar and Turkey. Okay. What is India's stand? India stand for the peaceful resolution, and it has welcomed this deal. Okay, so this was about the Israel-Gaza peace deal. Okay. Now moving to the next news. Next news is about World Economic Outlook. Okay. So the major finding of this report has been released this week. Here, such types of reports are very important. For what? For supporting your argument in mains, and in prelims they comes directly like World Economic Outlook is released by, which was already asked in prelims. It is released by IMF. Okay, and what are its major findings? It has projected India's GDP growth for 2025-26 to 6.6 from 6.4 earlier and 6.2 for 2026 and 27. They have said the reasons like private consumption has increased, okay, and reforms like GST, okay. And now coming to the World Economic Outlook, it is published by International Monetary Fund, which is also known as IMF. It is very important here, like by whom it is published by, okay. And what it is its purpose? It present analysis and projection of world economy in the near and the medium term. It is released twice a year. Okay. So this was about World Economic Outlook. Next news, that is major and minor minerals. It is very important for your prelims. In last 6 years, there was two questions. I think in 2019 or 2020 and in 2025. So the question based on major and minor minerals have come in two prelims. One in I think 2019 or 20 and one in 2025. Okay. So what is the context here? That the Ministry of Mines have classified limestone as a major minerals. Okay. Now we will understand what are major and minor minerals. Okay, so according to Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act of 1957, minerals in India are classified into two. One is major and another one is minor. Okay. So what are minor minerals? Minor minerals include building stones, gravel, ordinary clay, ordinary sand or any other mineral declared by central government. Okay. These are minor minerals. Okay. If you read this statement correctly, you can solve both of the PYQs of 2019 or 20 and 2025. Okay. This is the importance of this news. Okay. All other minerals than the minor minerals are classified as major minerals. Okay. And the another aspect, that the state government has the power to make rules for minor minerals. Okay, so this was about minor and major minerals. Now we will read the next news. Next news is about REDD plus or RED plus. Okay, and what is the context? Context is that only a small number of tropical forest carbon offset projects under RED plus have achieved significant cuts in deforestation. So there was a question regarding RED plus in 2016, prelims. Okay, let us understand it about RED plus. What does RED stand for? RED stands for reducing emission from deforestation and forest degradation. Okay, in developing countries. Okay, for this, developed countries or industries offset for this type of development. Okay, what does offset means? Suppose I am an industry and I am producing a large amount of CO2. To compensate for that, I will be giving money to someone, that is basically to developing countries, so that they can reduce emission from deforestation and forest degradation. Okay, and what does plus stand for? Plus stand for additional forest related activities that protect the climate. It includes sustainable management of forests, and that also includes the people who are staying there. Okay, you might have read about sacred groves and all. Okay, and it was developed by the parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC. Okay, and under it, developing countries can receive result-based payment for emission reduction from developed countries and industries as well. Okay, so this was about RED plus. Okay, now we will discuss about the next news. Next news is Mercosur. Okay, what is the context? Context is that India and Brazil agreed to broaden the scope of the existing preferential trade agreement between India and Mercosur bloc. So first of all, the important news is here is that India and Mercosur has a preferential trade agreement. Second, how does preferential trade agreement is different from free trade agreement? Okay, that is the second question you should ask to yourself. Okay, in preferential trade agreement, we have a positive list. Okay, on that list only there will be reduction in tariffs. Okay, in free trade agreement we have a negative list. That means only on the products which are there in negative list, there will be no tariff reduction. So that is the basic difference, and free trade agreement is more comprehensive than preferential trade agreement. So that is the difference between preferential trade agreement and free trade agreement. Now we will understand about the Mercosur bloc. Okay, it was established in 1991 and its headquarters is there in Montevideo, Uruguay. Okay, and it is a South American trade bloc promoting free trade and economic cooperation. The countries of this bloc is also important. Suppose this is the South America. Here is Venezuela, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Bolivia is here, and then there is Argentina. Okay, so these 5 countries are there, and Venezuela is suspended from 2016. For some time, Paraguay was also suspended, but its suspension was restored later. So there are around 5 countries now, and Venezuela membership is suspended. Okay, and India has preferential trade agreement with Mercosur bloc. Okay, now we will look into the last news for the today, that is scheme for innovation and technology association with Aadhaar, that is SITA, and it is launched by Unique Identification Authority of India. Okay, for it is released. Okay, that we will see. If you look into the NCRB data released this year about the criminal records of India, they have said that the crime related to digital transaction or the crime on digital platform have increased. Okay, in the NCRB data which has been released like in last month, they have said the crime on digital platform have increased. So this scheme will strengthen India's digital identity ecosystem and combat emerging security threats such as deepfake, spoofing, and presentation attack. Okay, and its implementation agency is UIDAI, which is under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Okay, and it will focus on biometric authentication, AI and machine learning solutions, data privacy, and advanced biometric security. Okay. Lastly, you can read other information on our digital current affairs and you can solve smart quizzes as well. Prepare well and happy Diwali. All the best for your preparation.